Attention listener, attention. Warning sign prohibited sign passport control, no one under 18 to be perfectly clear. This is a warning for the audio you are about to hear. The Adrian Lozano show is for mature audiences of legal age only, no one under 25. This program contains explicit and very graphic descriptions of acts of a sexual nature. Strong adult language and adult situations along with adult themes such as controlling violence, and occasionally you might get graphic references to drugs and alcohol usage. The Adrian Lozano Show is a show about a very funny man who does reviews of every kind of entertainment and discussing new movie trailers with his various assortment of special guests. Adrian also covers life lessons dealing with anxiety and being manic, as well as depression, stress, and the everyday battle of struggling with mental health. As always, this is a comedy show intended for the purposes of humor if you like jokes in bad taste. So if you were still here, then good on you, mate. We appreciate your support. You can also support the show by going to anchor.fm and becoming a supporter. We're going to patreon.com/Adrian Marcus Lozano, Marcus with a K. And we thank you so very much for listening. Now on with the greatest show ever to have Lozano attached to it. It is time for the Adrian Lozano Show.
Hello. My name is Adrian Lozano, and this is the Adrian Lozano Show. What is it? It's a show where I share with you the things that I feel you should know, or you'd be better off knowing. Just a little bit of Texan point of view.
Down, it's the Adrian Lozano Show. Well, beep beep telephone. Place to call your own. Well, the facts are still unknown. It's the Adrian Lozano Show. Woo! Take it off!
Well, hello there. It's your friendly neighborhood Adrian Lozano. How are you guys doing today? And by you guys, I mean you, right there. You. Just you. If there's anybody near you, I don't mean them. They can listen, but what we've got, that's between us. I said weenus. Oh, alright. I've done enough burying the lead. I haven't done a podcast in a while. I've been busy living life and whatnot. But then I always have to speak up when I lose somebody. And, you know, it's not like your keys. It's like, oh no, we found him. But Stanley died. The man. Yeah, that sucks. But 95, what a run. Some say he'll be with his wife now. My cat licks herself in disagreement because she's a cat. But what do I believe? The same thing that everybody believes. That we get our own planet, you know, and we're able to run it the way we want. That's what I believe. So he's gone. And it really sucks. But the show, she must go on. And this is a comedy podcast. Designed with a Z. Designed to make people giggle and snicker and just, maybe snort a couple of lines, maybe a hot rail or two. Just, do what you have to do. After all, the man is gone. And I think it's foolish to say there'll never be another man like him. Because every now and then there comes along another one. I felt the impact of Will Gaines like a decade after, because I was too young to appreciate and understand the goings on, you know. But the man who fought for horror comics, my favorite comic book person, other than the one in key discussion here, Will Gaines, basically paved the way for everything that I wanted to do with comics. And Stan Lee cemented that by giving me the bright side of comics. Yeah, if it wasn't for Will Gaines, I would have never have gotten into comics in the first place. But I saw ghouls and the various stages of rotting corpses from the undead, and I love the Vault of Horror, the Crypt of Terror. All these things got me into Captain America, Spider-Man. It's like, oh hey, there's these guys, which I was like, oh no, these are for kids. Like these other ones, these are for adults. Like these are adult comics, not like, you know, nudie picture adult, but these have adult themes and content: murder, betrayal, you know, revenge. These aren't, you know, you never see a Dora the Explorer revenge episode, or maybe there is. I've never watched that show. But, am I plugging it? No, I don't give a fuck about it. You know, fuck all that shit. It's Hispanics on TV. I'm for that, I guess. So, fuck all that shit. Hispanics on TV. They should be fucking running the station. It's like, they're already cleaning up. What more do you want? I want them in charge, and I want them cleaning up. Both. I want both. It's called equality. Get back to work. Anyway, yeah, remember, comedy podcast. And also, severe weird way of dealing with, I guess, grief. Did I ever meet Stan Lee? No. Does everybody in the world have a picture with Stan Lee? Yeah. Do I? No. Does it matter? No. Did he still impact my life more than, I don't know, anybody else over the past few decades? Kind of, in a way, but not really. I mean, I have to thank a lot more of the artists and the writers, but his concepts are what, like I said, just like Will Gaines, his concepts are what brought me to the bright side of comics. I mean, every time you open up a Marvel book that is a Stan Lee pitch, boy is it bright. And everything I was used to was rotting and moldy and decaying. Because those are the kind of comic books that you really want to read again as soon as you're fucking done. You know, and you notice something right away that's different. It sucks that Stan Lee's gone, man. But I've got a few clips that I want to share from my my most recent review, but my final, I guess. I wonder what his last cameo is. I mean, is that rude? Is it too soon to ask? I don't know. I mean, I just saw Ant-Man and the Wasp, so you're going to get that review in this episode. But, yeah, this is just, it's a bummer, man. It's a bummer. It's a bummer, you know. It's so crazy, because I love how much he split the credit, like with, you know, Spider-Man on Ditko, you know, and then fucking, what was it, everything else with Kirby, you know, everything that he's created with Kirby. I don't know, man. It sucks so bad, but it feels appropriate, I guess, in a way, because what is the future if not change? And I think that Stanley said enough change. He was like, I want to see my wife and have our planets move close together. I feel like people love the idea of Stan Lee, and I'm glad that he got his due propers and didn't go out, the way Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster did, that he was able to maintain a presence and an income, because that's what really matters, folks. It's great if everybody knows you, but if you don't have any fucking money to eat, what difference does it make? I mean, that's why I've been away. That's why I've been, busy living life while my cat snores in the background. I've actually been doing things that I want to do that are different than what I normally do. It's like normally I would get rest or record a podcast by myself, but instead I decided to spend some quality time off air with the family, and pay attention to the family, which you have to do from time to time. You just have to break the routine of ignoring everyone and then pay attention for a little bit and then go back to ignoring everyone. But I also got out into the world, which is a dangerous thing. And hi, baby, And I don't know if y'all can pick that up, but he's trying to sleep, but he's also so congested. Am I being quiet on account of him? Yeah, it's also like 5:45 in the morning, and most of my walls are screen, so. Oh, I wish I had a pencil-thin mustache, just like John Waters does. I don't wicked work hard, oh meow meow. I had an autographed picture of Andy Dufresne. What? Oh, now I'm getting old. Don't wear underwear, and I don't go to church, and I don't cut my hair, but I can go to movies and see it all there, just the way that it used to be. Oh, Jimmy Buffett, is there anything you can't fucking sing about? Maybe, no? Yeah, he covered everything. I think he just went through the dictionary, and he's like, here we go. 26 albums. Then 32 albums later, he had 57 albums. I mean, my God. It's funny because a friend of mine when I was younger turned me on to music that I thought was good at the time, but now think is more, I guess, sensible now. It's age appropriate now. Much like most things, me being one of these people that's, I guess, funny, I am quirky. I recently was in an ensemble referred to as the A-Team, and I was like, am I B.A. Baracus? Thinking, well, I'm 6'2", and I obviously have a bad attitude. You can fucking see it from a mile away. As Sam Jackson said, you can see it come around the corner. You got time to comb your hair. But no, I was Barkley. And I was like, what about Face? And they're like, no, you're the wacky pilot. And I'm like, Barkley? He'll always be Barkley to me. He'll always be Barkley to me. gosh. Yeah, it's like that. So how about enough of this meandering through the thoughts that are rambling in my brain and get to some fucking good content. After all, you paid good money for this show, and by that I mean it's a free show. But your time, that's what you're paying with. And that's what I want to give you good content in exchange for. Press 1. Okay, so if you can hear the heater in the background, it's cold where I am. Okay, so check this out. One of the coolest things about this Blu-ray is that it's got some Stan Lee bloopers, of which I'll share with you right meow.
Talk about compact cars. Damn, should have paid those parking tickets. Oh no, my sandwich was in there. Well, at least now I'll be able to park in San Francisco. Oh man, I just stole this car. Thank God it's a rental.
And of course, the dialogue that gets into the movie is pretty damn memorable. If you missed the Stan Lee cameo or you want it spoiled right now, check this out.
The 60s were fun, but now I'm paying for it.
That guy's awesome. Come on, let's take a page out of his book and make pole dancing an Olympic sport. Let's do it already. Stan Lee's the way. And then just picture Stan Lee going, they made up their minds and they got to talking. No, too soon? Too soon. So that was recorded 2 days ago. Sometimes I wonder if I should talk about anything. Like, what if you had the power, similar to Death Note, only you didn't have to write it down, you just had to say it. The Ryan Dunn memory comes to mind when I'd literally binged a bunch of Ryan Dunn videos, and then 2 days later, the next day he had died, and then 2 days later, the day of my binge, I had told my friend I want to be Ryan Dunn famous because this guy is producing so much new content. He did some chemical tasting thing where he went into a lab with scientists and then tested a bunch of random chemicals, and they were like, "What are you doing?" I saw Haggard, and I love that movie. I love everything about that movie. It's so crazy and off the wall, and it's just surreal. But that whole collective consciousness, it's in the ether, whatever. Yeah, I made that joke. I do jokes like that all the time, but that joke was more or less because, he'll do any joke, I feel. I remember his comments from the Deadpool movie. I told everybody to give it up for Chastity, but I didn't know if she was worth giving it up for. I thought that was so genuine and so Stan Lee. That's my favorite. Moments like that are my favorite moments when you see the real person. I told everybody, I don't know if it's worth it, and I told them to do it. Get your dollar bills out. She's not doing this for free. Oh man. Yeah. So, how about we get into the rest of the review, because it's pretty cool, but the Stan Lee stuff up front, you might hear it again, I don't know. Come on, it's appropriate. Review of Wasp Man and the Ant. Let me check the cover. Yeah, that's what it's... Oh, no, wait. The name of the movie is Redbox. That's the name of the movie. Okay. And I will have that review for you because it's been too long. It's been so long. It's been ching chong, ding dang, walla walla, ping pang. So I'm going to have to do that because these two movies are kind of a downer. It's kind of a downer. It's like, okay, and that killer's killed. Yo, killer, kill! Kill, killer! Yo, killer, kill! Okay, so yeah, it's kind of a downer, both of these movies. So I need something to pick me up before you kill. Don't leave me hanging around like a murder. Okay, so hopefully Ant-Man and the Wasp will cheer me up. I don't see how it could possibly make me feel bad. I mean, it's not like, you know, everybody dies and Scott Lang gets stuck in the quantum realm. I mean, what are the odds of that happening? Right? I mean, right? Okay, so I am only 5 minutes and 40 seconds into Ant-Man, and already I've got a piece of dialogue that stuck with me so hard. I'm so touched you think I'm the world's greatest grandma. Yeah, I'm from the get nothing. If you can't get anything good, then don't get nothing. I mean, don't get nothing. If you can't get anything good, don't get anything at all. Because if you give somebody a piece of crap, it's just a piece of crap, right? Even if they have the excuse of,
I'm the only one they had.
yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm a terrible gift giver and an even worse gift buyer. Like I said, I'll give you a movie I think you should watch versus something you really want. That's me. That's who I am. And now if you'll excuse me, I'm in the middle of trying to steal something with my daughter. I like it. Okay, so I already know that I'm feeling fucking better. My baby boy, I'm getting movement out of him, and he is fighting me, so I like the fight. I know, you know, when they're fighting you back, it's a good sign. It's a real good sign, because when they don't put up a fight and you can do whatever, it's not so cool, man. It's a real bummer. It's a real downer. So I got that going for me, plus they're back in the quantum fucking realm. Look, I gotta say this right now. I fucking love anything that has to do with macro and micro. Inner Space, if you haven't seen Inner Space, you're a fucking loser and you're dead to me. But you want to come back to life, you watch Inner Space with the one and only Martin Short, Dennis Quaid, and the lovely young lady that I don't think I need to introduce. But you gotta check out Inner Space. Anyway, what I'm watching right now is Scott falling back into the quantum realm. Man, not since 2001 A Space Odyssey. A Space Odyssey. An Odyssey in space. A Space Odyssey. It's a Space Odyssey. Not since 2001 have I been so enthralled with a visual spectacle. Even Doctor Strange didn't do the visual spectacle on the level that Ant-Man did. And going right back into that world gets me excited. Oh, and if you think I didn't notice that the Laurie Strode daughter is the mother in Ant-Man, well, and I'm not talking Michelle Pfeiffer. I'm talking the mother of the daughter. Ant-Man's daughter. Yeah, she gets around, doesn't she? More on her later. That undercarriage is filthy. So listeners, for you, no time would have passed. Unless you hit pause. Damn, that might. You know, you remember when Cletus was like, "Excuse my faux pas. That jug is faux pas." That's what I felt like I was fighting back right now. I was fighting back my inner Cletus. Right in the Cleat Taurus, if you will. Okay, so I just finished watching Ant-Man and the Wasp. And you know what, listeners? Do you know what? I loved it. It was great. I mean, I liked every part of it. Even Randall Park was great. I believe her name is Judy Greer. That bitch gets around. Anyway, it was great. I loved everything about it. I regret not buying this sooner. It's one of those things that I like to buy things as soon as I can because I'm what the Americans would call impatient. And you know that really, it gets you nowhere fast. But this being America, or if you're listening in another country, which I highly doubt you are listening to this in another country. I doubt it severely. But if I am mistaken, and you are listening to this in another country, well, good on you. And may I say thanks in whatever language you feel comfortable with. If you have to translate it to the Queen's English or the King's Scottish or what was the other one? The Lady's a Tramp. Wait a minute, no. Look, I loved it. I loved this fucking movie. I wish I'd bought it sooner. I like everything. I like all the little quirks, all the little tidbits, all the little what have you. And yes, that's my boy. He's snoring, but he's breathing. That's the important thing. Listen to that struggled breathing. Anyway, so I loved it. Now, there was one thing at the end. Now, going into it, full spoilers, if you haven't seen the movie, I'm going to give you a couple of seconds to pause the podcast and go forth into the world and see the movie. It's worth it, especially if you've seen Infinity War. And I'm talking to you, my friends. Talking to you, my listeners. If you've seen Infinity War, get off your fucking ass and go check out Ant-Man and the Wasp. If you're a collector, like I am, go pick that shit up, no questions asked. If you like the first one, you'll love the second one. No questions asked. Get your ass away from all of those questions. But, going in from behind, watch the movie first before you continue listening to my review. I'll wait. I'm waiting. Alright, I think I've waited long enough. Let's get into this review. So, we've got a young Michelle Pfeiffer. Or as they say in England, Michelle Pfeiffer. And she looks good. She looks good. But I wanted to get straight to the end. Because I'm like that. Ew. There was a question mark, and I'm a fan of punctuation. And that question mark really, really says something. Don't you think? I think so. I think I'm a ne'er-do-well. I'm a ne'er-do-well. It's that Morrissey song that nobody ever heard. Oh, by the way, I love the Morrissey joke. If you are a fan of Morrissey, you will appreciate that that part where Louise breaks it down, and that Mexican woman's got a Morrissey thing going on. She's got a thing going on. Ba-doo-doo, ba-doo-doo, ba-doo-doo. It's much too strong, and it's also kind of moist. Yeah. Ba-doo-doo, 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 ba-doo-doo. She's got a meow, 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 meow. Okay, so, damn, it was good. It was good seeing Michelle Pfeiffer. It was cool getting caught up on what's going on. I like Cassie Lang interacting with Scott Lang. The way that like their dynamic hasn't changed. You know, she's not like, hey, you took off to Germany. She's not like butthurt like the way what do you call it? Hope Van Dyne is like, you know. And then he took off, went to, you know, hang out with Captain America without me. Look, am I reeling from just watching it? Yes. Do I need to collect my thoughts? Yes. Will I smoke a big bowl of thoughts and get right back to you? I just might. This was very good. Right away, I have to say, it was awesome. If you love the first one, you're gonna fucking love the second one. It's got the same director, which is a cool thing in my opinion, but, you know, there's so much in this, and it's so heavy with setup. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to... I mean, look, with Goliath in the picture, we're talking Bill Foster, you know... Look, there's a lot. I'm still processing. With Goliath in the picture, I would see Goliath picking up where Hank and Janet, maybe he's still around. Maybe he didn't disappear. You know? I don't know. I haven't gotten that information yet. But, holy fuck, man. Like, I could picture Goliath. Like, could you picture that blue and yellow suit with this ginormous black dude, and then he's over there arguing with Hank Pym, who, you know, also probably was like, they were probably going back and forth. The dynamic with Hank Pym is that he would definitely change up his size, and we're not even talking about the Yellow Jacket stuff from the first movie, because that was also Hank Pym. It's a fucking, like, double-sided weenus with this guy. It's a double-edged sword. With Hank, he's got a lot of issues, man. And that's just what it is, you know? And, I never noticed, but there's a goat in the background when Michael Douglas comes to tell his daughter that, Michelle Pfeiffer's gone. There's a goat in the background, so shout out to Mr. Sunday Movie. There's a goat in the background. I'm sure he doesn't get enough of that. He probably needs as much of that as he can get. Just kidding. I'm sure he's sick of it. Look, this is crazy. This is so crazy how they ended this. But, like I said, if you've seen The Avengers, then you know what's up. Alright, so me being me, I've got to absorb more content. I'm going to rewatch it. I'm going to chew it up, digest it a little bit more, and then baby bird it back to you. If I got gross, it's because I meant to. The Gross Maker. Adrian, the Gross Maker. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and return after I'm a sponge, baby, and I just got rang out by my describing what I sawed. Now I'm going to soak it up. But, aside from that sound effect, you won't hear the actual soaking. I'll leave that off mic. And off the rest of these, you know, people I'm standing on. It's a human pyramid. Look, you hire who you can. Most oftentimes it's cheerleaders who need the money. But you get your human pyramid any way you can. And this human pyramid is inspired and brought to you by Mexican chair people. Anybody remember that? No? Fine. I guess it's just me and my wife. Okay. That's not the same. Shut up! But it's... Reference! Okay, listeners. I gotta say something real quick. Do you remember a little movie called Honey, I Shrunk the Kids? If you don't, stop. Wait a minute. If you don't remember that movie, or if you think you might have heard of that movie, or if you think you might have seen that movie maybe one time when you were a child. Well, listeners, I'm going to need for you to, like, get off your ass and go and check out that movie, because it's got Rick fucking Moranis in it. And you know what? Him and his brother, they found a mouse inside of a beer bottle. But that's a whole nother story altogether. You're asking me, who's his brother? Bill Moranis? No. His brother's name is Dave Thomas. And they created quite a strange brew together. And no, not like that, you sick fucks. In the comedic way. Anyway, so, not since the classic Honey, I Shrunk the Kids have I felt so excited by giant ants. Because those ants and these ants, like, those ants are more tactile. You know, these ants, I feel like, have less of a reality to them as much as just, like, they're occupying a space. But there's no real interaction with the insect itself. Pardon my language. You see, with Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, those ants are so fucking real, the kids feed them. And it's très bizarre. It's just out of this world wackiness that, like I said, I haven't experienced until this movie right here. This movie being Ant-Man and the Wasp. So it really takes me back. It really does. Because that, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, again with the macro and the micro, I'm all about it, baby. I'm all about it. I'm so into it. You know, I mean, those people were sleeping in Legos, for crying out loud. And here we've got giant Pez dispensers. You got Pez'd. Oh my God. I mean, look, it's good. It's good, and I like it, and I'm still collecting my thoughts. Let me sweep them into a container for you. These ants cry every night for you. These ants have seen a lot of ants, but they're never gonna be another one like a head seagull. Seagulls, seagulls, seagulls are murdering mother sons of a, yeah, you're never gonna, never. They're having you. Wow! I like that song. I like a lot of songs. I sing a lot of songs very badly. Horribly. Terribly horribly. And if you're still listening, you're fucking amazing. Like, for reals. Like, seriously. As my cat claws on the ladder that I bought her to claw up, I gotta tell you, I really get a kick out of being able to talk. It's like you're my friend. And I get to unload all of this positive energy, because most of the time, I mean, yeah, I'll bring some negativity to us, to this, but I do my best not to. You know, it's just sometimes it seeps out. And you know, seepage, you got seepage. And as gross as that sounds, everybody seeps out a little every now and then. And as really gross as that sounds, I am grateful for you being cool with my seepage. That means a lot, man. It really does. It means a lot to me. That's for damn sure. And as I have a sleeping cat on my lap, I gotta say I'm really happy. Because this cat, if you've been listening to the entire podcast, this podcast has taken place over the course of a couple of days. I saw, I saw Mike Myers in 2 movies. I saw him in Bohemian Rhapsody, and then I saw him when he was killing people in the other movie. Wouldn't it be great if just one time, they robot chicken that shit, and he takes off the mask, and it's Mike Myers? I mean, yeah, that would be righteously hilarious. I'm talking good. Like jazz finger snap worthy. Anyway, so these ants. No, don't sing that song again. You've already sang it. But they cry every night for you. For ye. Okay, do something else. Sing something else. Sing. You're doing a podcast. This isn't an audition for. I don't know if I can sing, but I'm pretty sure I can't. It's just I won't stop. That's what it is. That's a long title for a show. You're getting off track, Lozano. Hey, thank you, reflection. I'm looking at my reflection right now, and he's like, "You're getting off track." I don't have a lot of mirrors. Just, I just happened to look. What a coincidence. I turned my head. There was a mirror. It's just a coincidence. Look, I'm turning my head in the other direction, and I got no mirrors. See, it's like that. It's like that. I should really put some mirrors on that wall, though. And that one. Okay. It's good because you can always see behind you. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so I fucking love. My favorite part of Captain America: Civil War was Giant Man. I mean, everybody loves Spider-Man. Everybody was all on Spider-Man's nuts. And I said, that's great. But Giant Man is in there. That's the best fucking thing, man. So with this one, 65 fucking feet. That's no small man. But the whole thing is, it's a great movie. I mean, if you've got Catwoman double identitying as identity. Don't tell the titty, or else I donna not do it. It was cool seeing Catwoman as Janet Van Dyne. It was cool seeing Hank Pym as, like, a part of the story. It was cool seeing Paul Rudd be Paul Rudd, because he's funny, I guess, yeah. Whoa, bro, you just took a sharp turn. Look, I got nothing against Paul Rudd. And this whole having to be shirtless thing he's got going on. Well, you know what I don't get? Or what I think? That was my knuckle that just popped. You want to hear it again? Oh, yeah. I wonder how that sounds. I got to play that back. That probably sounds really gross. I didn't mean to do that. Well, I did mean to do that, but I kind of forgot I was recording. How did you forget you were recording? Well, because I got into a conversation mode, and I was looking at myself in the mirror, talking to myself, which is you, because like I said, this is therapy. So this helps me when I look at myself. Do I believe this guy, or is he full of shit? He kind of looks like he's full of shit right now. Tilt it back. Okay, cool. He's not so full of shitty. Alright, so, oh man, I loved all of this. And like I said, Paul Rudd being shirtless. The director said something about that on the commentary. Let's listen to what he had to say about it.
Here, of course, is the contractually obligated shirtless hero shot. Any actor who signs on for a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie has to be in shape and do a shirtless scene.
Okay, so that's true. It's a fact. You just heard the director say it. Is it out of context? Yes, it is. Does it matter? No, it doesn't. I believe it's there in black and white in every single fucking contract. You've got to have your, your body in shape, and you've got to be shirtless for at least, 5/3? No, anyway. 5/3? How are you at math? 5/3 good? Oh, God. Okay, so, yeah, the thing is, with this whole, look, so, Thursday I got down on some Bohemian Rhapsody, and do I feel like it got me down? I let it get me down, and that's my own fault and my own doing. But it's a bummer, man, when you watch that movie and then you realize, hey, well, he's dead and he died this way, and that really sucks because that's all she wrote. But you know what would have made the movie cooler for the length of time that it was? If we'd have spent more time with rock and roll stars. Like the collaboration between Bowie and Queen, Under Pressure. The collaboration between Freddie Mercury and Michael Jackson. We could have gotten The Rock to play Michael Jackson, and we could have gotten, what's his name, John Cena to play Bowie. I mean, it would have been great. It would have been great. And if you're still listening, thank you. Wouldn't that have been weird? Okay, anyway, I feel like that's what it needed. That's what that movie was missing. It could have done with a lot more cameos. Or so I say. Or so I think. Or so I tell. Okay, but, so yeah, it is a bummer if, you know, you're gonna go out on that note, but that's the way the movie goes out. They try to keep it positive by showing you a live performance at the end. You were talking about Ant-Man. Yes, I was. Yes, I was. Yes, I was. So another cameo, other than the great Michelle Pfeiffer, another great cameo that we get is, what do you call it? Tim Heidecker. Just like the way he was Reed's dad in the Fantastic Four that nobody saw, except me and my buddy. But like he's also in this as the whale watcher. But Tim Heidecker's got some really. That dude's weird. If you guys have ever seen Tim and Eric's, what is it, $1 billion movie? They also do like Tim and Eric's Awesome Show, I think is the name of it. Look, if you know Tim and Eric, these guys are full of shrim. They're oozing with it. But it's cool to see him in the movie. It's definitely, it pulled me out of the movie for a second, and I'm like, hey, I know that sick fuck. But yeah, all things considered, it's a good buy. It's a good buy. Goodbye. No, it's a good purchase. It's definitely worth your money because it's got the director's commentary on it, which I found informative and not as arousing as I thought. But I wanted more on the Ghost. The Ghost, if you don't know this, the Ghost is originally a dude, and he is originally an Iron Man villain. So they've changed it around, both in sex, where now it's a woman, and you got this whole father-daughter theme going. And as a man with 3 cat daughters, I can say I love my daughters. I do. So, now, about this movie, what was my favorite part? Well, Giant Man, of course. Seeing Giant Man pick up the building from Goggins. Oh yeah, we got fucking the Goggs, Mr. Goggins himself, the lollygogger. Goggins, if you don't know Goggins, his best work, I feel like, his creepiest stuff is in Justified, the show Justified. Boy, he's just riddled with it in Justified. He is so creepy, racist, Southern that you feel uncomfortable. But look, overall, my favorite part was Giant Man. I wish the wasp would have grown to be a giant. Nothing like a giant female to get my blood pumping in every direction. But the Ghost was awesome. I liked the way that this, like, if it wasn't for Giant Man, the Ghost would be my favorite part. I love her phasing. I love her accent. And, yeah, I just like this whole different approach with the character. I'm not necessarily against redoing a character like this, but as you may have heard on other podcasts, other podcasts from me, it's not the typical thing for me to go along with changes in the comics. And then when they do it right, they do it right. You know, when they do it well, they do it very well. And this particular instance is one of those where I like it. I like everything about it. So, yes. It's harder to describe things you like. I was taught that by, pardon me. I was taught that by an English teacher in, like 5th grade. That it's always going to be more difficult to describe something you like. And I was like, you're just quoting that from somewhere else. And she's like, go to the hall. And I spent a lot of time in the hall. Anyway, Kids in the Hall was amazing. That has nothing to do with anything, but I was a kid in the hall. Not the famous, not the Canadian Kids in the Hall. No. You kidding me? If I could be like 1/10 as funny as Dave Foley, just 1/10 as funny as Dave Foley, then I haven't done much with my life. I gotta be way funnier than Dave Foley. Anyway, so, yes. Watch Ant-Man and the Wasp, Wasp Man and the Ant, Giant Man and the tiny bug lady, and the ghost. Very cool. Very awesome fucking righteous. I love, what do you call it, Michael Douglas in this movies. I feel like he has more of a presence than the first movie. The first movie, he's kind of just there for the most part. But in this one, he actually goes in and saves his wife. If it wasn't for him going in, she would have been stuck there. So it's very cool. Very awesome. We heard you say that already. But it is cool and awesome. Guys, why aren't you watching it? Guys, come on now. Ladies, take it off. Respectively. Respectively? How do you respectively take it off? You take it off, but with respect. That's right. That's right. That's right. He's getting an accent again. No. Yes. All right. Thank you so much for listening, and please enjoy whatever the hell it was you were doing while you were listening to me. Awesome. That's never it. You know me. At least you're getting to know me if you've listened to more than one episode. I'm not like that. I can't just, hit it and quit it, as the old people say. I've got to do more and go deeper and sleep in it, as the old people say. So that was the original ending of this episode. And then I was going to be contempt in a court of law. That's right. No, I was going to be cool with that. That was going to be it. But then I listened to the episode and it sucked. The structure sucked. It was a bummed out guy being bummed out, and that sucks. Nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to, do their laundry to that. Nobody wants to clean their gun to that. Nobody wants to rub one out to that. If you do, maybe this is the podcast for you. I don't know. Anyway, I rearranged some of the stuff. Priorities first. Remember, priorities first. Always think of yourself first, because nobody else will. At all. Maybe for a second, but then they're right back to themselves. And if you do that, and then, move on to somebody else or whatever, you'll see that it's better in the long run. Sometimes it's lonelier, but at least you're alive. Anyway, that was going to be the ending, but fuck all that shit, as I say. Fuck that shit. It's my birthday today. Fuck that. I thought you didn't like... No, I like McBride. It's the other folks I don't really fancy. The other blokes who shall be nameless on this podcast. Anyway, yeah, I really did not expect the unexpected, but I guess everybody should have been expecting this. It's inevitable, it sucks. It sucks when it's, too soon. But either way, it is inevitable, and it's one of those things you just, I guess, like the kids who grow up in a fucking family of morticians, it's just, you have to deal with death. Death is part of life. It's just what it is. So, what else did I do, and what else is going to go into this podcast that could possibly fucking make it better? Well, how about me editing myself, which is something I do weirdly. Does that mean how you do it, or does that mean you got to stay meow, 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 meow. See, but then I just felt like that bled, like those two songs could bleed in together, 'cause you've got to stay diggy, diggy, diggy with the, drop the boogie, fuck. You dropped the boogie right on my foot, you fucking dick. Why did you do that? You said to drop the boogie, so I dropped the boogie. Baby, drop the boogie. You are getting off track. It is kind of cold and you should go inside. But I am inside. It's colder inside of my heart. Okay, so, Taz, like, do you ever pay attention to the songs and the lyrics inside of Adventure Time? They do a lot of that where it's like, and it could be me, and it could be you, but it's not us together. You know, it's like a weird, like, they throw that last little tidbit in there. It's like, all I feel in my heart. It's like, okay, all right, emo kid, we get it. We get it. We get it. We get it. You watch Adventure Time. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so... Yeah, okay, so... Queso cheese. I am going to lay down upon you my Queen review. That's right, I review the band Queen. No, I met the Queen. No. There was a movie about a queen. And this queen was for men. What are you doing? I'm fucking grabbing at fallen pieces of plates here. Okay, spin this new plate. Bohemian Rhapsody. Robot voice, help me out.
Prepare yourself, human, for the Adrian Lozano Show, the movie reviewish review. So here is the core of the review, Mr. Adrian is going to tell you whether you should see it. Ultimately, you're the one that makes that decision, but his recommendation means something to him. And maybe to you one day. Who knows? I'm just a robot voice. The second key element to the Adrian Lozano Show movie reviews are the A for effort segment, the parts that are worth paying extra attention to. And then he's going to tell you of a movie it reminds him of. Chinese word Japanese secret button registered sign Chinese word Japanese word Chinese word Japanese word Japanese secret button Japanese congratulations button registered sign copyright registered sign cool sign Chinese word Japanese word versus Japanese word Chinese word no cell phone phone off Vibton mode mobile signals full score of Fucus Aquarius Scorpion Sagittarius Capricorn Virgo alarm clock hourglass Taurus Gemini. And that's usually it, but he does love to talk. Dizzy face beer mugs beer Milky Way wave bomb shot pill telescope microscope smoking sign fireworks sparkler party popper loudspeaker speech balloon thought balloon revolving light anchor Aries and did you know that I love you that's all.
Hello, my 2 or 3 listeners. It is your friendly neighborhood Adrian Lozano, and I am amidst birds. But what am I doing? I'm walking to the movie theater. Why? Why? Because the bus stops are so far away. So, you know, when the bus drops you off, you got to walk a couple blocks, either which way. That's not important right now. What is important is if you're tuning into this particular episode, thank you. Thank you very kindly. And thank you very much. Take a breath. Now breathe in. Okay, now moving on to the next step. Today's episode will consist of the Bohemian Rhapsody review. Will the birds be there for all of the review? No, because I'm walking to the theater now. Did I maybe walk in the wrong direction? Possibly. We shall see. Talk to you later. One for Bohemian Rhapsody at, was it 6 o'clock?
Everything in red is taken, the screen will be at the bottom.
Everything in red is taken? Right on. Let's see here. I guess I'll bother those people up top. Number 12, an F.
Alright, where'd you guys like to sit? Everything in gray is a bit of the black at the bottom. Are you reward member with us?
No.
Okay, it's gonna be 974. Oh, 6?
Right on.
Yeah. Whatever. Or 7. Yeah, there you go. I was like, wait a minute. Ticket? It's all good. 1848. There you go. There you go.
Which way is that?
It's like...
Thanks. Hey, how's it going?
First one to the left.
Which way?
First one to the left.
Oh, first one. Okay. Well, hello there, listeners. Guess who saw Bohemian Rhapsody and really, really liked it? I did. It was me. I'm that guy. I'm that special person in your pants. I mean ears. Boy, was that homoerotic. Woo! Makes you want to kiss a dude. And not in the gay way. In the really gay way. Am I right, listeners? Can you hear the cars? They are real. I am walking home. Woo! Back with the birds again. Okay, so no, I'm good. I'm found a way out. I thought I was stuck, but no. No, I'm good. All right, so you will hear this review so hard. So hard. All right. I'm excited, and don't be offended by the birds. They don't mean anything except swears. So ultimately, would I recommend this movie to somebody, anybody, somebody to you? Okay, no. Yes, I guess. To a Queen fan, I would represent. To a Queen fan, I would recommend this movie. And to a non-Queen fan, I would reprimand you, sir! You have been reprimanded! And young lady, if you don't start listening to Queen, you'll get a spanking. We haven't decided who will give you the spanking. Even if we have to hire someone, we'll find someone to do it. I'm sure there's plenty of volunteers. Anyway, there weren't enough cats in the movie. There were not enough cats in the movie. There could have been more. And, gosh. Like I said, it paints Freddy in this really weird, creepy, lonely picture that I don't like. And, I feel like there were more moments that could have been shared that were excluded. And, I don't know if we'll ever get to see those moments, because I doubt there'll ever be another Queen movie. I mean, who's to say? So the movie's PG-13. For anybody who's still listening to the show. If you're busy making out, you can always come back to the show. But you can listen and make out. I mean, I've done it. Just ask this cat right here. No comment. All right. So, ooh, chiwalla walla, ooh, chibang bang. There was not enough content that I feel would make it risque. Like, there's no nudity. You know, had it been rated R, and it would have been like the Doors movie where you got a bunch of nudity, a bunch of chicks in the crowd being nude, but you don't get to see Jim Morrison's penis because that's not the point of the movie. Just like this movie, it would have been weird had you seen a naked Freddie Mercury, but it wouldn't have been out of place in the story. It just would have been weird because, I mean, it's not what the story's about, you know. I'm sure he probably was so flamboyant that maybe he did expose himself at parties or whatever, or maybe not. Maybe he was that reserved. But I feel like there were moments where it could have had nudity that would have changed the tone dramatically. It's like it wasn't overdoing it, I guess. Like a lot of guy on guy kissing, but it wasn't as much as like there wasn't as much gay sex scenes or any sex scenes really. Now that you think about it, who's thinking about it? Me. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about all the sex scenes right now. Give me a second. Okay, so yeah, it wasn't over the top. It wasn't what what could have been, I guess, exploitation genre type. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it could have been like that. But it's not. And like I said, I recommend it to anybody who's a Queen fan or anybody who's got an open mind and is willing to, you know, find out more about an artist such as, or in this case, Freddie Mercury. Such as Freddie Mercury. Him and his non-equals. There isn't anybody else like him. So, you know. That's what it is. That's what it is. It's great. That's what it is. All that aside, put all that aside when you're talking to me. Put your wiener away. Put your wiener away. Is that a real song? No, it's not. It's not. But the British would say otherwise. Why is that? Well, they would tell you to put your wiener away regardless. Irregardless. Whether regardless or irregardless, it is regardless that you are so irregardless. Irregardlessly, I say it's regardless. With no regard. Okay, so, did I like the movie? Yes. I thought it was great. Is it a bit of a downer? Of course, all biopics where the person's dead are a bit of a downer. Why, look at Walk the Fucking Line! It didn't make me shout for joy, that's for damn sure. But, how about that Rami Malek? That guy can certainly, really, I mean, whoa, sweetheart, calm down. He's an actor. It's just, boy, okay, look, the movie's homoerotically charged. Like, and then some. But with him, he's got this vulnerability about him that you kind of accept. And you're like, oh, well, he's looking for acceptance. Or he's got this loneliness he needs to fill. Which, why couldn't she come on the road with him? Why couldn't there be a way to make it work? I guess that's not the way it goes. But trucker at a truck stop, I mean, I don't know. That's a little too on the nose for me. And it may be a cliche, but I guess at one time it wasn't a cliche. And it just was what it was. You know, toe tapping underneath the stalls. God, that sounds like a country song, doesn't it? Toe tapping underneath the stalls. You got a hot rail in my vaginal. Oh, wait, no, that's not. I'm mixing two. Sorry. Wait, yeah, I got a little bit confused. Maybe I was in the wrong bar at the right time. Or the right time at the wrong bar. Fuck. There's no reason two grown men should be in the same bathroom stall together unless they're doing drugs or having gay sex. Where did that quote come from? I don't know. Every bar I've ever worked at. But I digress. We got a lot of cool things in this movie. Other than all the dude-on-dude action, which I'm sure the ladies love. They can't get enough of it. Other than all this dude-on-dude action, which I'm cool with. It doesn't fucking bother me. I'm alright. Fucking, you didn't hear me groaning or crying out. I mean, I may have shouted out, suck his dick a couple times, but other than that, nothing like, you know, queer or nothing like that. Nothing derogatory. You know, just a positive reinforcement. Yeah, kiss the fuck out of that dude, you know. And then I elbow the overweight gentleman next to me. Am I right, huh? Homos? Badass, am I right? And he's like, shh. I'm like, whatever. Fucking anti-queer over here. Alright, so, did I watch the movie in a comfortable position? Yes, my legs were open the entire time. And I was seated between two couples. Oh, and I knew none of the people around me, so did I pass gas on a regular basis? You fucking bet I did. I don't like those people leaning into my side. You fart a little and maybe they back away. But only there's no maybe about it. I don't like people. And all the good seats were already taken. I tried to go this morning, people, but I didn't have the energy. I was tired as fuck. And you may say, well, Adrian, you sound kind of tired now. I can tell in your raspity voice, your crispity crunchity voice. Look, it's early for some people, but for me it's late. It's 10:51. Sweetheart, not now. Not now. I'm putting a gun to your head. Not fucking now. You understand me? Not right now. Don't do it right now. You wait, you let me finish this podcast, and then we will blow their heads off together. You got that? But you put that gun down, young lady. You put that gun down. I also saw Halloweeness. Halloweeness. But back to the matter at hand. You get to see a chubby Mike Myers making a Wayne's World reference where kids in their cars are going to be singing about how they're in love with their cars and whatnot. And they're not going to be singing Bohemian Rhapsody. That's pretty cool. That was very cool. Very bonza. Alright, so, the other thing. Well, the bass player that they get is Tim from Jurassic Park. That's right. Tim from Jurassic Park. He's a grown-up now. It's weird. It's creepy. It's weird. But, okay. So this is what it is. The way that they present this biopic is a song seems to come around and save them every time they're fucking at each other's throats. I bet you that harkens back to reality. It couldn't have been more, I don't know, more of a life imitating art, imitating life from behind kind of thing. And I'm saying the from behind because it's one of my many catchphrases as opposed to this being a homoerotic joke. Look, do I think the members of the band were as accepting as they were in the movies? Of course not. I think it was way more drama, and I'm sure that there was probably a lot of slapping and punching going on. I don't know the true story. I mean, I know only a few things. Like I said, I knew about Brian's guitar, and I knew about just the... So, how did this movie do representing Queen the band? Well, it's like 70-30 Freddie Mercury to Queen ratio. And as for Freddie, the movie painted Freddie Mercury as a creepy, lonely guy that I don't feel like he was. Again, I could be mistaken, but the whole shining the light off and on, and drinking in the dark, and the late night phone calls, I'm sure that it was similar to that, but the way that this cinematic movie depicts it, he just seems so sad. And you know, they gently wash over the AIDS thing. It wasn't drawn out. I would have loved to have seen more moments with other celebrities. I would have loved to have seen him working with Michael Jackson. I would have loved to have seen him on tour with other bands, and the stories that you've heard about, maybe kind of dance around more of what he was like than creating this persona that was. Like, they definitely idolize Freddie Mercury in the movie. They make him somebody to aspire to be. But it seems like they didn't cover the full Freddie Mercury in the sense that... I mean, look, the biopic's about Queen. That's what it is, hands down. It's about Queen. It's about the band Queen, their start and their rise, and then the Live Aid. The Live Aid is what it revolves around in 85. One of the greatest years that mankind has ever fucking dealt with in time is the year 1985. Everything great came out of the year 1985. Even the movie Back to the Future. But everything great came out of the year 1985. I'm just saying, if it came out in 85, pay attention to it because it's amazing and it's awesome and it's righteous, and it's gnarly, because it's 85. I'm just saying. Everything else is crap. That's all. Just that message from me to you. You know, I know this probably seems a little, I don't know, mean towards Rami Malek, but I would have preferred more original footage. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really would have preferred more original footage, because, man, they do that at the credits. At the end credits, you get to see a performance by Queen, and it is amazing. But Rami Malek did such a good job. It would have been really awesome just to show the side-by-side comparisons. You know, I mean, to me, he looked like Freddie Mercury. He looked the part. It looked amazing. Fuck Sacha Baron Cohen and the fact that he thought he could try to get away with it. It's nobody but Rami Malek. Like, that motherfucker did a great job. Amazing. Gosh, I can't. It's so different. I feel so I have to watch it again to give you more of an accurate representation of how I feel, because boy, I'm still real raw. It still feels, like I said, that my initial feelings are it was good and I liked it, but the lingering feelings are I feel like they painted a homoerotic, lonely picture that doesn't do him enough justice, you know? Him being Freddie Mercury. You know, if you're a Queen fan, see it. If you're not a Queen fan, check it out. But go in there knowing that it is very sexually charged. But I feel like because it's PG-13, it's not a good enough representation of what was the Freddie Mercury epic story, you know? Is it a shame that we don't have more Freddie Mercury to, I guess, pull from or derive from? Yeah, it's a shame. But, you know, I mean, there'll never be a sequel to this movie. There'll never be Bohemian Rhapsody 2. Even more Bohemian Rhapsody, or, you know, that'll never happen. But we will hopefully get, you know, I mean, footage released, or more tracks released once all this legal red tape goes away, and everybody agrees that everything just needs to be released, just like the Prince hard drives. All those things need to be released. We need the Prince hard drives. We need all that Prince music, because why the fuck not, man? For the love of Little Red Corvette, we need more content. And I feel just like the way John Lennon stuff, like there's not enough released of our dead heroes. We need everything that our dead heroes did, because you're only here for so long, right? And that's why I'm recording this podcast. And I've got a cat right in front of me. Right, sweetheart? And it's important to do what you love. And Freddie Mercury did that and showed us that. And you know what? I very much intend on doing more with the time I have. Famous last words. No, they're not. Don't be creepy. Don't make it eerie. You're scaring the cat. Oh, wait, she's not scared. Neither am I. And neither should you be, because you never know what's waiting for you. And you never know what's coming around the corner. But the best part is, if you're ready for anything, then you're still going to die. You know, it's just a matter of time. Boy, you're really being a downer. I'm not trying to be a downer. I just watched a movie where a man went from not getting to hang out with his dad to getting a hug from his dad to getting AIDS to being a rock star, and it's all over the shop, and I loved it, and I feel weird. Why do you feel weird? I feel weird because it sucks that he's dead in real life. It sucks when people die. So did the movie overall, cheer you up or bring you down? A movie can't bring me down, but I can certainly bring myself down. And the movie didn't trigger me as much as it just made me reflect on some of my own personal favorite Queen albums and songs. Like, I love A Night at the Opera. All Dead is one of my favorite songs, if not my favorite Queen song, and whoo boy, it gets me right in the chon-chon every time. Whew. Waving back the tears. But yeah, it's a good movie. It's a good watch, and it's entertaining. It's very very entertaining. For a patient person, it's 2.5 hours. It's my cat wanted to get up and run as soon as she heard that. But it's 2.5 hours, and I feel like it could have been 2 hours from my editing point. It could have been 2 hours, and it could have been great. But boy, it's really sad at some points, and the Jim Hutton of it all is, there's a lot of Jim Huttons out there, but not every single one of them's for you. Only one of them. And it's like, boy, fuck, this sucks. Like, this is a lot. Oh, gosh, what are you going to do now? Just go through every single fucking name. And that's what he did. It's insane. And then apparently he stayed with Jim after that. It's just so... It feels... Even though it was so long of a movie, it feels like there was so much left out. Ultimately, like I said, I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it was different than, Walk the Line, in the sense that it's a band biopic that... it makes the Aerosmith biopic movie and the Rolling Stone biopic movie, both of which don't exist. Not to mention the Led Zeppelin biopic movie. All these movies that don't exist. It really gave you a sense of, well, hey, maybe these can come to fruition. Maybe. It's like, but all these men are still alive. Then why not do these now? I saw a preview for the Elton John movie. Elton John's still around, based on a true fantasy. It looks great, but this is the Bohemian Rhapsody review, and this is your friendly neighborhood Adrian Lozano saying, watch it, it's good, check it the fuck out. Don't sit between two couples. Don't ever sit between two couples. But it was the only seat available where I could see the fucking screen. Don't sit between two couples. Don't do it. And since I'm doing messages outright in the middle of a review, let me go ahead and say this utter message. There is a documentary that came out a few years back that's kind of forgotten, or maybe not really. Maybe that's what I wanted. Because, finish one thought. The name of the documentary that came out, I think it was 2012, damn it, it's hard for me to look stuff up when I'm on my phone. The Great Pretender, or The Greatest Pretender, the Great Pretender, Freddie Mercury, or it might be switched around. It might be Freddie Mercury, The Great Pretender. Anyway, he's very candid in that documentary. However, you don't feel like you learn more about him. You just see him do a few crazy things on stage, and you see him interact with reporters and cameraman and stuff like you see him, but you don't get his perspective as much as you see him doing crazy stuff, if that makes any sense. And with this one, it's kind of the same thing, but the little bits and pieces you get are sad when he's by himself. And the other one, it seemed like he was a real party boy, but then he would also admit, like, that nobody knows him. It's like, but you get around. How did no? I don't understand. But anyway, yeah, I just thought I'd throw that out there. If you don't know, or if you're not into documentaries, then what's your fucking problem? If you want to know about something, watch a documentary. Watch 2 documentaries. I mean, fuck. If you like something, there's at least 5, on that one thing. I'm telling you. Okay, so, yeah, it's, I guess they'd have to do a Freddie Mercury movie, and Queen would be, I guess, one act of that movie, because, like, man, like, they use the word operatic, and they use the word opera, but they don't show you in the movie that Freddie Mercury sang opera with a real life opera singer. He could hold his own, like I said, the movie's about Queen. Bohemian Rhapsody is about Queen. It's not about Freddie Mercury, but it's about Freddie Mercury just on the surface. The surface. So this is your friendly neighborhood Adrian Lozano, a day older, a day wiser, and a day moister. Wait, that's a thing, right? Listen to this cat. Yeah. Okay, so what am I going to talk about right meow? I'm going to talk about what everybody's afraid to talk about. Halloweenus. Did you say Halloweenus? Halloweenus. That's the biblical term. That's the way it's spelled in the Bible. It says Halloweenus. If you don't believe me, read it. You don't have to read it. Just Google it, and you'll see that I'm right. If you type in weenus and then hit Google Images and then just see what comes up, you'll see that I'm right. Okay, now, that's weenus with a W. Okay, so I saw Halloween. Did I like Halloween? Yes. Yes, I did. Yes, I can. Wait, I'm not doing that again. Okay, look, I liked it. Do I feel like it's, I feel like it's a chapter, I feel like it's the last chapter of the book, and we've closed the book. Unless... Look, spoilers, if you haven't seen the movie, Michael Myers escapes and kills people. Spoilers, just to let you know. Does he meet up with Laurie Strode? You better believe your Strode ass he does. You better bet your Strodes he does. He meets up with her. And it's not too long. Like, Michael's kills are pretty efficient. He's not so much of a lollygagger in this one. But the motherfucker, he gets suckered into a trap. Let's jump right to the end here, because this is really all it's about. Yeah, there were some kills. Were there any kills worth mentioning? I like the head stomp from the new Loomis. I like when new Loomis gets his head stomped. That was pretty cool. Unexpected. I also like when the sheriff got killed. Very unexpected. There's... The thing about this movie is, what do you want to see? I want to see Michael Myers and Laurie Strode just slugging it out, and by slugging it out, I mean she's filling him full of slugs, and he's getting up until the guy looks like Swiss cheese. You know, until the guy looks like a mesh net. And you're like, wow, What are you wearing, fishnets? Oh no, that's the sky behind you. We can see through your body. It should have been like that. It could have been like that, but what we've got was the repercussions, I guess, of raising a child in paranoia. Something I could very much relate to. Like, wholeheartedly I could relate to that, because were my parents severely paranoid? Yes. Did that have an effect on me? No, not really. I'm good. Have I done episodes where I tell you to look out for snipers? Yes, I have, and yes, I will. You know why? Because if you don't look out for them, nobody else will. You've got to be that person that tells your friends or tells your whoever you're with to also look out, because 2 eyes are better than 1 set of eyes. You didn't say set the first time. I fucking know! I'm trying to lay knowledge on the people, and I've had a long day, and it's not their fault. But I'm in a good mood. It's good to feel appreciated. And that's what this podcast does, because people, I don't feel appreciated for shit outside in this world. I mean, yeah, you know, you got your moments where, hey, you didn't fuck it up too badly. All right. But here on this podcast, I am that guy who's delivering all the jokes. And that's the guy I like to be. I like it to be. And as they said many, many years ago, I like it to be. So I'm just repeating the past, but in a cool way. From behind. Oh, he's doing it again. All right, look. What do I ultimately think about this movie? Would I recommend it to somebody? And what was my favorite part? Okay. Do I think the movie was good? Yes. I ultimately thought it was good. Not disappointed in it whatsoever. Oh, my timer's going off. I gotta go get my food. Alright. You will have no time pass. But for me, the time, she will be the passing. I'm gonna go eat. I'll be back. Okay. I hereby promise to never bring up the word EAT again. However, pardon me, excuse me, that will not stop me from eating off mic. Like a son of a bitch! But anyway, I digress into the pool of digression. It's digressy in here. You mean Degrassi? No. Nobody watches that here. Nobody wastes their time with such things. Such things as that. Ugh. Anyway, I've never seen an episode of Degrassi, but I have seen 2018's Halloween. Now, there's a weird point in there where a boy gets his tattoo of his date of death, and I gotta say, that's ironing, folks. Oh, the ironing. Oh, what sweet ironing. It's pronounced irony. I know. Your jokes are really stale. This episode's kind of bland. What's going on? Sounds like you got trouble in paradise. I'll have you know paradise is quite lonely. Quite lonely. And I've got a little cat that's not doing too good. But it's alright. I'm not looking for sympathy, and neither is he. We're going to get back on track. He's going to eat his vitamins, and I'm going to inject his vitamins right into him, I tell you what. But that's neither here nor there. That's none of your business. But if I seem a bit distracted, I got cats, and I care about them. So yeah. Anyway. Would I recommend this movie? Yes, to anybody who's a fan of Activia, to anybody who's a fan of Tony Curtis's daughter. I forget her name, but whatever. Anybody who's a fan of this genre needs to watch it because it gives you a little something different. Now, what do I mean by that? This isn't no H2O. You know, H2O had its weirdness to it, but this is more definitive of what you would want. What I got out of it was pleasant. Not Donald Pleasance. I mean, that'd have been great if he was there, but, you know, all that aside. What I got out of this was, Michael's dead. Spoilers. But that psycho gene lives on and can be passed on. And no, it's not Son of Michael or anything like that, listeners, if you haven't seen this. If you haven't seen this, you can watch the movie and come back. But if you're like me and you're like, fuck it, tell me what you're going to say. I'll use your jokes as a barrier for my own disappointment in the movie. You can do that. I do that sometimes. I find it refreshing to do that. Where it's like, somebody laughed at this and made me laugh at this. And, it's like when you find out about Han Solo, you're like, oh. When my friend told me how he found out, my good buddy Becky told me how he found out, I was like, what are you doing on social media anyway? What the hell's wrong with you? And he was like, well, I didn't know, and I knew, and I didn't want to know. That guy doesn't like spoilers. Chris, if you're listening, that guy doesn't like spoilers. Becky, if you're listening, they're a part of life, bro. Don't get on social media if you don't want to see them. Okay, so, spoilers for this movie. She traps him. She traps him but good. And how do I feel about it? I feel like it's about goddamn time. But what do we get in the end? What's my favorite part? Well, I'll tell you, my favorite part is something that I didn't notice offhand. At first, my favorite part was going to be just the fact that she got him. I love the daughter psych out. I can't do it, Mom. I can't do. Gotcha. Bam! Love that. That was great. That was genius. Love a good psych out. Especially when a woman fucking says she can't do something when you know goddamn good and well this woman can do it. This woman being everybody's favorite nameless actress, Jamie Lee Curtis's daughter. Is it her real daughter? No. Do I care to look her up? No. Why? 'Cause no. Look, the daughter did a great job, but it really came down to Jamie Lee Curtis. It's her fucking movie. And in the end, she's got you vested in her point of view, that she built this cage to kill this man, and she prayed for something that came true, which is something we all do. We pray for something, but it doesn't always come true. I mean, this is something completely different. I mean, unless you're out there and you're praying that a relative of yours gets out of a mental institution so you can gun them down, then I don't think you get where she's coming from. But if that's going on with you, more power to you. I hope your aim improves, and I hope you have backup ammo. Just in case, because you never know. I mean, look at the movie. Jamie Lee Curtis, I love the shotgun part where she blows off some of his fingers. I mean, it's just it builds to a great action scene the action scenes are spread out. Like, the kills are spread out more than I feel like are, like, okay, look, here's what I'm saying. They could have cut some time out of the movie by getting these kills closer together in the end. And we spend a little bit more time running in the woods than I feel like we should. It's not too kosher to have a long running in woods section, because, like, we've got Mike Myers. That's right, Mike Myers from Bohemian Rhapsody. We've got Mike Myers chasing her in the woods. And then all of a sudden she's still thinking she's being chased. Meanwhile, Michael's already killed the other two cops and then got them over to the house where guy who will never be Paul Scheer, who's playing the dad, the guy who will never be Paul Scheer, he's playing the dad. I mean, they should have just had Paul fucking Scheer in there. I mean, he would have made this movie a million times better. A bajillion times better. But whatever. We had some fuck play the dad, and he gets killed because he's some fuck. Do I respect these actors a little bit more, the woman than the man? But the man, fuck him, he's no Paul Scheer. Fuck that guy. Okay. He's a fan of the show. What? You tell me now? What's his name? Robert Englund. That's not his name. What's his real name? Robert Canada. You know what? You're not even trying. Oh, okay, look. He got what was coming to him. It's in the script. Yada, yada. But with the head, you've got a man's head with a flashlight up the neck hole as a jack-o'-lantern. I like that. I like it. I love it, Max. Do you like it or love it? I love it. I love it. Now, moving on. The thing that made me like it a little bit more in the end, Michael grabs a hold of, what do you call it, the daughter of Jamie Lee Curtis, and the granddaughter is also there. The granddaughter is the one that does a bit too much running through the woods, in my opinion. In my opinion. It's my opinion. Oh, yeah, we're not going to do opinion songs. If you want songs that have to deal with the word opinion, you can go check out How Did This Get Made. They've got some great ones. And they've also got some explanation hopes, too. And that shit's gold. Okay, so what are we dealing with now? We're dealing with a granddaughter who grabs a kitchen knife. Oh, wait, go back. Okay, so the thing that's in every trailer. The fucking, can you close the closet door? I'm afraid of the closet door. What happens. She tries to close the door, she opens the door, she gets cut. Girl gets what's coming to her. It sucks because I just want once for a babysitter to live. And, I guess that's Jamie Lee Curtis. You get what you want. Okay, so I just was not surprised but impressed when I saw, much like the very first Halloween, how we see the young man who's got his date that he loses his virginity tattooed on his arm, which turns out to be the date of his death. And that dude's about a good 2 feet up off the ground, knifed into the wall. I thought that was a badass homage to the original. Remember when he's like, when he's wearing the glasses? What's up with that first movie and him wearing the glasses over the sheet? And like, I don't know, man. Little weird. So, moving on. I liked when the granddaughter... Okay, so we've wound back up. Now, Michael Myers is on the stairs. Who's trying to get up the top of the stairs? Laurie Strode's already made her way out. The granddaughter's already made her way out. And now it's the daughter of Laurie Strode. She's getting accosted by Michael. He's like, this costs how much? And she's like, it's on sale, you prick. So, once she grabs him, she grabs, I guess, herself, trying to wrestle her leg away from his arm, his grasp. The daughter then proceeds to grab a kitchen knife. The daughter of Laurie Strode's daughter, the granddaughter of Laurie Strode, proceeds to then stab at Michael, getting him to release, because I'll tell you, nothing will make you let go of somebody like getting cut. That'll make you let go real fucking quick. It's just not fun, and it sucks when you get cut, especially by a very sharp knife, because you feel that if they go deep enough. You don't feel it if you're getting a couple of layers, just a nick, you don't feel it. But if you get in there, you feel it, and it hurts. Anyway, moving aside, we got Michael, and then we go and we flag down a truck, Texas Chainsaw Massacre style, while the house is burning down in the background. And then we've got the Strode family in the back of a truck, driving to what could be, potentially, safety. I mean, I don't believe that all the killers live in the same world, but I mean, it'd be something else if they drove them to safety. It's like, here we are, girls, Camp Crystal Lake, and they get out and they're like, what? Yeah. But no, that's crossing genres with the Michael versus Jason that I really want to do. Do I really want to do that? Hey, yeah. What's the other thing you wanted to do? Well, that's not for right now. And that's not for these listeners. But it may have to do with a young man who likes to kill people. That's all I'm saying. That's a lot of people. Oh no. Do you remember that Cloud Atlas? Oh no. Yeah. Oh no. Alright. So, where are we at? Galileo. Who even is Galileo anyway? Galileo. Bismillah. You're bleeding these two reviews together, sir. It's because I saw both movies in the same day. Oh, how'd you do that? That's none of your fucking business, and I'll thank you not to stare. But look, I blame myself for watching movies, and now I've got to play nurse and doctor. But you know what? It's what you do with your time once you realize what you have to do. That's what matters. So, we see the Strode girls in the back of this truck before they pull up to Crystal Lake. And the granddaughter of Laurie Strode's got the knife still in her hand. She's still wielding that knife. She wielded it while she was flagging down the fucking truck that they're riding in the back of. But she's still holding on to it, and the camera slowly pushes into it. And it's like, wait a minute now, wait a minute. You're telling me she might snap and then become a killer herself? Because if that's the case, I'd be interested in that story. Oh my goodness! Yes, I would be. I would be very interested in that story. Because, well, if you do it right, then it won't end up like American Psycho 2. And if you do it wrong, then it will end up like American Psycho 2. So, that's where I leave you, nice, kind folk.
Okay. You know how to say, make your greeting call? What I say?
Say thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening.
You're welcome.
It's good eating.
What the fuck?
Jethro Bodine.
What the fuck is that?
Jethro Bodine. Every time they do a roadkill, good eating.
I don't know. I'm lost, you guys.
The Clampets.
I don't.
Very good.
I'm not.
That's the way they talk.
I don't watch that much TV.
He went to Oxford.
Because remember, he was the cousin.
Yeah.
He was,
Oxford.
the girl was the daughter.
The Beverly, what?
Beverly Hillbillies.
He said Oxford. Yeah. The banker thought, man, this guy, Oxford was in second grade.
Hopefully you enjoyed this show, and if not, well, I don't really care. But if you did enjoy it, then I would like to hear from you. You can send me a dirty message, maybe even a little garbled, I don't mind, to the Adrian Lozano Show at gmail.com. You can also hit me up on the gram at Adrian Marcus with a K, Lozano, not all one word, as well as at Marcus Lozano, Marcus again with a K, on the Twitter. Thank you so much for listening, and enjoy the rest of whatever it is you are doing.
You have been listening to The Adrian Lozano Show.